It must be Wednesday because I'm on the live streams on the YouTubes and the Twitches. Welcome. I'm Jessica. You probably know me if you're here. If you don't know me, you're about to. It's really fun for you. I'm excited that you get to know me. It's going to be a wild ride. Um Welcome. This is my productivity stream. I do this every Wednesday night. So when you come here, you can get some stuff done. Are we gonna get a cat eat? Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna get an early cat eat. This is excellent. Now I come here, I have cats. Every time I start these streams and start to talk, these cats have to get in my face, especially this particular cat who is always messing up my stuff. I'll give him a minute to think about it before I eat him, because maybe he won't need to be eaten, but he will be because he's already he's displaying eating tendencies right now. Yeah. Do you want eated? You do want eated. I see. Oh, I love you too. Good boy. Now get away. Beat it. One cat eat. I keep track of these things because this is hard-hitting journalism. Yeah. So there we go. Cat eats. One. Yeah, welcome. So tonight, we are going to do the productivity stream. So we'll go here in just a little bit. We'll get some stuff done. I'm going to be working on some stuff tonight that's a little different than what I've been working on in the past. So I'm excited about that. But before we get to that, I wanted to do a quick, well, not quick. It will be quick because I don't have forever. But I wanted to talk about a book I read. So I always do like a welcome, how are we feeling, what's preventing us from being here, all that like good meeting nonsense. And I firmly believe in fulfilling the creative well, because you can't be creative if you don't have cool stuff percolating in your brain. So for me, filling the creative well comes in a lot of different ways. It comes in art, it comes in music. I don't do music. I'm terribly untalented at actually producing music other than singing. I like to think I can do that. But art, music, watching movies, watching TV shows, reading is the main one I've been on here lately. So during spooky season, which for me, this is going to be the start of spooky season. You can see behind me, I have my Halloween decorations up. And I put my Halloween decorations up on Labor Day because I like to look at them, and Halloween's more of a lifestyle, I guess. But I enjoy this season so much. I love the fall. I love Halloween. October is the best month. It's my favorite. I live in Texas, so it stays hot the entire fall. It's gross. And much love and care to my friends in Florida who are waiting for that hurricane to come through. I also live in Hurricaneville, and I am very concerned and sympathizing and empathizing, and hopefully everyone stays safe. But it is still hot in the South, and in Texas it stays disgusting until Christmas, probably till December, because November is often very warm as well, like shorts on Thanksgiving Day, which is weird for a person who's from the northeast of the country where it's cold. But anyway, I love spooky season and I love to read. So I challenged myself to read a book that was about a monster. And I picked like 6 different monsters, the main ones. I picked vampires, werewolves, zombies, demons, and magic. So witches or magic, and ghosts. So I've picked one of those books. I think I talked about it on a previous stream, but I'm in the process of reading each one of the books I picked, and I'm like 3/4 of the way through. I think I'm reading zombie. I have a zombie and ghost to go. Everything else is read already. And we'll be talking about each one of those books all the way through October. So we'll go right up to Halloween and talking about our monster books. And tonight is our first night, and I am going to talk about vampires. So, week 1, vampires. I read for my vampire book, Certain Dark Things by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. And um and we'll get into it. So, I have devised a clever rating system for these books because I will rank them at the end, and we'll check in each week to see who ranks higher, who's winning my fake monster contest, which has no prizes except for me getting to read cool books and you getting book recommendations. And I'll talk a little bit about these folks on the stream. So hopefully, I'm sure Silvia Moreno-Garcia doesn't need my help. But anyway, she's getting it. Sylvia, you are getting my help whether you want it or not. I'm just giving it. But anyway, this was the first book. And let me put up a picture of it, I guess. I read it on audiobook because I have a very long commute. So I actually did audiobook for this. And here is the cover, Certain Dark Things. Also, my camera light is in there, but you'll see it by that cover. Silvia Moreno-Garcia. This, I did the research on the book. I think it came out in 2016 and they reprinted it in 2021 because she did get some success, I guess. This probably came out before she was super successful, I guess. But you would probably know her from her other books, like Mexican Gothic would be the main one. I would think that you would know. She has a book out now called The Seventh Veil of Salome, and lots of other cool books. I had never read one of her books before. I'd had Mexican Gothic on my radar to read, and a lot of my friends were reading it. And my one friend in particular, who is a voracious reader, and I trust her judgment on books. We almost always align on books. She raved about it. I think she read it during COVID and loved it. And I wanted to read it. It's just sometimes my TBR pile gets away from me and weird stuff happens and I don't always read it. I'm in the midst of reading now and a huge push through my TBR pile. And so she loved it and she highly recommended Mexican Gothic. And so I get excited when people recommend books to me. But again, I didn't read Mexican Gothic. So when I was looking for vampire books and I didn't want to do like, I've read a lot of vampire books already. Certainly I've read, Anne Rice. I've read the Vampire Chronicles up through The Body Thief, I want to say. But I read them a long time ago. I read them when I was a kid, like a junior in high school or something like that. And, I've read The Passage by Justin Cronin, which is sort of like zombie vampires. I don't know. Salem's Lot. I was actually thinking about rereading Salem's Lot. I know there's a couple of people I saw on the Facebooks that are rereading Salem's Lot right now. So I have it. It's actually sitting around here and I will get to it because that book genuinely freaked me out about vampires. I wouldn't have thought that. Of course, I've read Dracula multiple times and I love it. So I've read a lot of vampire books because I do like vampires, not gonna lie. I read Twilight, all of them. They're about vampires and werewolves, of course. And I was looking for a fresh take on vampires or somebody I hadn't read before, and I didn't know who I wanted to read. And when I did like the old Google search on vampires, this book came up. So Certain Dark Things. And since I saw it with Silvia MOreno-Garcia, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'll try this out. And I got it on audiobook. And I really like this book a lot. It's horror. It's more of a noir book than really, it's got monsters, so you could say it's horror and bad things happen. But it's kind of like magical realism and noir and horror all mixed up together, which I think is something that Silvia Moreno-Garcia does very well, like genre blends. I respect that. I like to do it myself. So at the heart of the story are two characters. One is a vampire named Adel, and the other is like a young street kid. He's a garbage collector, and his name's Diego. And this book takes place in an alternate Mexico City. And the concept is that vampires, everybody knows about vampires, and the whole world is aware. And Mexico is one of the places that vampires are kind of still allowed. So a lot of them go there, but Mexico City is a vampire free zone. So all of the other places in Mexico have vampires. And shockingly, the vampires run drugs, right? They're the cartels that are responsible for the drug trade in Mexico and the world. And Adel, the vampire in question, she belongs to a species of vampires that are very ancient. They are, well, all vampires are old, but these ones, and I will never be able to pronounce the name. It's a Nahuatl word, Aztec, and I have trouble with that stuff, but basically, if you've ever seen like paintings of Quetzalcoatl, or you've been to the Mayan ruins in Mexico, and know a little bit about that mythology, or the Aztec mythology too. I mean, Aztec, not Mayan. Think that she's a giant bird-like vampire, and when she changes into her vampire form, she looks like a raptor, a bird of prey. So she has talons and like wings, and she's very beautiful in her human form and in her vampire bird form. But she's very different than the other kinds of vampires in the story. And there are basically three types. There's the kind that Adel is, and then there's one that is like the classic European, Central European vampire. They're called the Necros, and they are kind of the bad guys, vampires, if there is a bad guy. And like when they bite people, it's really pretty horrific what happens when they bite humans. The human becomes their thrall, and the human literally has to do whatever they tell them. If the vampire says, now go jump off that bridge, the human has to go jump off the bridge. Or the vampire says, shoot that guy, the vampire has to shoot that guy. Or not vampire, the human has to shoot that guy. So Adel's family is murdered by a rival gang of Necros who want to take over her family's drug cartel. And so she flees from Guadalajara, I think, and goes to, or the north, she's from the north, and she goes to Mexico City, where there's not supposed to be any vampires. And so why would vampires chase her into a vampire free zone? Of course, there's going to be vampires. But anyway, she meets Diego on a subway, and he becomes her like human helper, and it's about their relationship, and it's about Adel kind of like figuring out who she is, because she's spoiled. She's like the second daughter of a powerful female vampire, and her sister was the golden child, was supposed to take over everything, and then her mother and her sister got killed by this band of Necros, and she now is on the run for her life, and she doesn't know what to do. She never intended on being in charge of anything. She was a party girl, and now she's got to be like, serious and figure this out. And now she's got Diego to worry about. And Diego is a street kid. He's a garbage collector, like an orphan, or he was kicked out of his house, and he has nothing. Like, he was completely poor, lives like in a little place under the subway, and they meet up, and she has to get out of Mexico City because the vampires, and now humans who are like vampire hunters, are trying to get her. Excellent noir, excellent kind of like, I mean, it's not like a novel story, that you can tell that's not anything like totally new, but I love the fresh take on the different vampire species. I could read a lot more books about that. The Necros are really horrible. Adel's species seems beautiful and interesting. And then there's the Revenants, who are like, they eat humans and vampires, and everyone's kind of afraid of them. And there's a character in it, he's like an old Revenant, and he is very interesting. But yeah, at its heart, it's Adel and Diego's story, and it's really good. Like, if you don't like vampires, you have your reasons, I'm sure, but this is a fresh take on it. It's something new, something I hadn't seen before, and I've read a lot of vampire stuff. I mean, vampire species, I guess, isn't really new, but thinking about them in these ways was new for me. I really loved it. And moreover, there's two other things about this. I love the audiobook. So the audiobook narrator, and I want to make sure I get her name right. I did write it down. Her name is Ida Relusco, and I would listen to her read anything. She was so good. Sometimes in audiobooks it can be hard to do everybody's voices and get them completely distinct, and she was awesome at that. I really enjoyed it. It was a great audiobook. And just a really good, gritty noir genre blending vampire story. Not typical, not ungory. There are some gross moments. Like I said, the necros are really awful. Like the things they do, I get upset by like that mind control stuff. So it's really good. But the other thing is, I really enjoyed Silvia Moreno-Garcia's writing. I enjoyed it so much that I immediately, right after this book, I went and started reading Mexican Gothic, and I beyond love that book. I'll talk about that on a later stream, but I'm now a fan of Silvia Moreno-Garcia, and I will read. I'll try to work my way all the way through her catalog. I think like the next up I really want to read by her is The Daughter of Dr. Moreau. So that's science fiction, kind of a play on H.G. Wells' The Island of Dr. Moreau, which I love. So I will be reading a lot more of her stuff, and I know, she's going to be a voice in literature. There's a lot of good themes in this book. I mean, it subverts like the idea of, the drug cartels in Mexico, and I don't know, just gives you a really good alt universe vampire story. And I wouldn't say that it was like full of social commentary. There's a little bit in there, especially like about the forgotten people of the world, like really poor people, street people, and how we take for granted a lot of stuff that Diego didn't. So that kind of stuck with me. But again, mostly it was just the cool vampire stuff that stuck with me, and the strong two characters, Adel and Diego. So I came up with this rating system for these books. My rating system is going to be blood droplets out of 5 blood droplets, and I have 4 categories. So the first category I have is the concept category, like what did I think of the overall idea of the book? Like how did it sit with me? The second category is the writing style. So was it accessible? Did I like it? Was it, too wordy and too like for me, or was it too like basic for me, or did I have an issue with it? Basically execution of the concept. The third one, which is super important to me, is did they stick the landing? I mean, that's like the hardest thing in a book, I think, is to stick the landing, to make sure the ending is satisfying and appropriate, and not always what the reader wants, but it satisfies what the reader needs. And was it just good? Did I like the ending? And then 4 is a monster factor. So like, how well did you play with the concept of the monster that this book is about? So we have the 4 categories. So for concept, for certain dark things, I gave that 3.5 blood droplets. Conceptually, like I said, it's really inventive. I liked the vampires. I liked the use of vampires in it. It was that part was awesome. Was the actual plot of the story anything I haven't exactly seen before? Of course not. It's an escape from a bad situation, kind of heist caper, really, and but it's mixed with noir. So I wouldn't say it was like completely, I've never seen anything like it, blown out of the water by that part of it. But solid 3.5 blood droplets on concept. Now, writing style, I gave that 4 blood droplets because I loved it. It's really accessible. The language isn't overly flowery. You get perfect description, just enough, and you're in the head. They had not head hop, but the chapters are told from different points of view. Like sometimes they're from Diego's point of view, and sometimes they're from Adel's point of view. They're really distinct. They're different. Probably the audiobook narrator helped on that too, because a good audiobook narrator can do that. But I loved her style enough to give it a go with another book, and that says a lot about it. And I love the style of Mexican Gothic. So 4 blood droplets out of 5 blood droplets. Stick the landing. How did it end? I was torn about this one. I gave it 4 blood droplets. I could have given it 4.5 because I don't want to spoil it for you if you're going to read it. I might spoil other books later. It didn't end happy, and it didn't end sad. It ended the way it should have ended for me. And not cliched, not like, but it didn't end like novelly, like, oh, I never saw this coming whatsoever. But it ended the correct way for this story, for these two characters at this point in time. So that's a solid 4 blood droplets. Monster factor, I also give it a solid 4 blood droplets. So the vampires are used really well. The vampires are cool. I hadn't really seen vampires used this way before. I mean, I've seen them be like part of ancient mythology before. That's really cool. Didn't really think about using them in an Aztec-y kind of way. So I was really into that, but I really like ancient cultures and things. So it was really interesting. It reminded me, I mean, like, I guess if you have seen From Dusk Till Dawn, like those vampires are really old in Mexico, and there's an Aztec temple like at the end of, spoiler alert, From Dusk Till Dawn if you haven't seen it in the last like 30 years that it's been out. But the vampires, at least some of them, are really old, and they're they have an Aztec temple. So I guess that wasn't super new, but the different species were cool. So I give it a solid 4 blood droplets for monster factor. Good vampire book. Not annoying, not cliched. So when I did all the math, because I had to do all the math for it, it came out to 3.875 blood droplets, which we will round up to a solid 4 blood droplets. And because I was playing around with Canva this week, here's what you get. So spooky read season, Certain Dark Things, Silvia MOreno-Garcia. Let me do that again. Can I make it hold it? You know, I don't know. I'm still using my, let me take this off here. No, that's not what I want to do. Sorry. I'm not good with the Facebooks and the technologies and the whatnots. Yeah, 4 blood drops, vampire book. There you go. Concept, writing style, stick the landing. I'll put this up on my Facebook, the Facebooks, and the whatnots. Maybe I'll figure out how to put it on my website. But as we go through, we'll be rating all of the monster books in a similar fashion because I believe in equal ratings under the law. So there we go. Am I getting comments? No comments yet. Welcome to viewers, to wherever you are viewing. But anyway, there you go. 4 blood droplets for Silvia MOreno-Garcia's awesome vampire book, Certain Dark Things. So that's what I was reading. I'm reading a lot of other stuff this week, but I wanted to make sure we talk about that. It's 7:23 ago, a little bit longer here on the Creative Well because we're going to go to the sprints at 7:30, and maybe do a quick one, come back, do a break, and then do another 45-minute one to close us out because I got stuff to do. But anyway, you can do these kind of challenges along with me. If you're watching this now, I would, just jump in, like pick a vampire book. Obviously, I've given you several recommendations if you haven't already read them, and there's tons more out there. So pick a monster book. Pick any monster book you like and read along with me, or go read Certain Dark Things and tell me how wrong or how right I am about my assessment of the book. I don't mind. But the important thing is to read and challenge. And I've had a really good time with this monster reading challenge. I was telling some friends the other day, like, this is boss. I love reading these monster books. It's going really well. I'll be doing another challenge in November, I think. Haven't decided exactly what. It won't be monster books, maybe not even horror books, because I might need a palate cleanser, although I read horror a lot, so I really don't need a palate cleanser. And I write it. But it's fun. Give yourself a challenge. There's a lot of reading challenges out there, and some of them are really complicated and some of them are not complicated, but it's still a good time. So go ahead and read. Next week, week 2, we will be talking about, let's see. I want to say It's My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I think that's it. I'll put it up after this, but that'll be our demon read. And the week after that will be werewolves. and then witchcraft, and then zombies, and then closing it out on Halloween will be ghosts, because I thought that would be appropriate. So there you go. And that's exciting. Reading is fundamental and fun. It is 7:25. I'm not really watching anything right now. That's not true. I started watching The Acolyte and I started watching Agatha all along. I just haven't gotten into it. I've got other stuff to do, so I've been a little bit busy. But so far so good on both of those, and I'm obviously watching The Rings of Power when I get a chance, although that's a little bit slower for me. But anyway, those are watchings, readings, and I'm getting ready for all my fall shows. There's a lot of stuff going on in October for me. I'll talk about that at the end of the stream, but I'm getting ready for all that. So all of the art, all of the watching, and all of the reading are really refilling my creative well right now. So it's very exciting. Productivity. Oh, sorry, Gimli heard people doing things. Sorry about that. One cat eat, and oh yeah, I gotta put that back up. We got one cat eat. And a dog bark. Maybe I'll add a banner for a dog bark. But anyway, let's get to some productivity stuff. Again, the concept of this is I'm gonna set a timer and I'm gonna work on stuff, and I'm gonna leave my camera running and mute my microphone so you can stare at me, and weird shit will happen in the background with my animals as I do this. But you can create along with me. So do art, draw, practice your xylophone, make wigs for birds. I don't really know. Have a good time with it. Knit a sweater for a frog. The weirder, the better. And again, if you do anything super creative and interesting, tag me in it. Unless you're Ed Gein, then don't. And we'll get to it. So it's 7:27. I'm going to set our timer for 30 minutes, and we'll be back at 8 o'clock to do a quick break and check in, productivity check, see what everybody did. I am going to be working on a flash fiction piece, I believe. I've been wanting to work on it for a while, and I kind of have an impetus to do it now. So I am going to work on that. And if I don't like it and I don't want to work on that, then I will be working on outlining a couple chapters for my book that I'm writing. I'm kind of in a weird place where I need to take stock of where I'm at and line up the next couple of chapters, because it'll be pretty important. And hopefully get those done, at least one chapter done tomorrow night on the Cursed Dragon Ship stream when I go onto that one. Or finish out this flash piece. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'll be writing one way or the other. Alexa, set a timer for 32 minutes.
32 minutes, starting now.
There you go. All right, happy creating, and I will see you back here in 32 minutes. All right. Well, you can hear by the Alexa, stop alarm. You can hear by the alarm that we are through our first productivity sprint. So, how'd that go for everybody? Looks like we got Kelly on. Hey, Kelly. Oh, right. Restart. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear about that. I hope everything's okay. I am working on a quick flash piece that doesn't actually feel very quick, and I got about 253 words finished of it. I really wrote more than that, but I didn't like it, so I scrapped a whole bunch of it and then started over again, which is pretty common when I write flash. So there we go. It's pretty fun. Kelly is on page 67 of Cackle. Good so far. Awesome. Reading is fun, dumb mental, and fun. That's the beauty of a productivity stream. Everybody can do a little something they want to do. It feels pretty good to actually kind of work on this little slice of fiction. Taylor, Story Dragon, trying desperately to get my final books read for Magical Readathon. Oh yeah, you've got that super. If it was complicated and a lot of books. I agree. You can do it. You guys read faster than just about anybody I know. I think maybe I know somebody who reads quite at the speed, but you read really fast. Three more books by October 1st. Yeah, that's not very far. Like, that's basically in, like 5 days? Today's the 25th. 30 days has September. I have to literally say that every time. I don't really know why. I've been saying it my entire life. But yeah, we're almost to October. The year is like flown by. I cannot believe it. But it is the best time of the year. It's spooky season. It's fun times. I will be. Library book came in early. I really have to get better at going to the library. I used to love it. I love the library. I love the bookmobile. When I was a kid, it came like on Thursdays, I think. It either came Tuesdays or Thursdays to my little town. And I would request stuff, and you knew the bookmobile came, you would have your request because they would bring it to you on the bookmobile. Halloween shopping for porch lights this weekend. Yes, put the finishing touches on your Halloween decorations so you have everything ready. I love to come home and turn on all my Halloween lights, and that's pretty fun to read. It's sort of like when you have your Christmas. Oh, we're gonna get 3 cat eats. I think we're gonna get 3 cat eats because this cat, Ichabod, you learn nothing. If you be good and sit there, I won't eat you. If you be good, he can't be good. Yeah, I thought about decorating my porch, but I have so much to do that I really just need to like be happy with what I have. I have more lights in the boxes. Gonna go see the bats at the bridge on Saturday. Yeah, at Waugh Bridge in Houston. They have a bat colony there. You can watch them. It's gonna be, I think, nice weather. Supposed to cool down. I think a little cold front for Texas moving in. That means nothing. This is the reason the cat gets eaten, because he is gonna jack up stuff. So get out of here. Go. There we go. On to 3. Yes, it is a good time. I don't know what I'm doing this Saturday. I thought about going to the Festival of the Wolves in Navasota, Nacogdoches. I don't know. North. I don't know where it's at. But I might not do that either. I think that's in the daytime. And if it's at all hot, I just don't have that in me. And I have stuff to do here. I need to like clean carpets and write and do all sorts of stuff. I got lots of stuff to get ready for all my 900 Halloween events. So lots of stuff to do, and I like to clean. So I don't know if I will get to the Festival of the Wolves at the St. Francis Wolf Sanctuary or not. I really kind of want to go up there and pet wolves, and I know they won't let me do that unless I pay a bunch of money, and I'm not in the mood to pay a bunch of money. So it's maybe possible I won't be doing that. I had car trouble last weekend with tires, although it didn't end up having to cost me very much money. So, but I'm still kind of burnt on that, and I got some other like irons in the fire, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So we got readers going on. I got 3 people. I know at least 2 of them. Yeah, I know. Petting a wolf would be cool. It's a dream to pet a wolf, a lion, a tiger, a bear. Like I want to pet all of the animals that could eat me because that's how I want to go. Like I would want to be eaten by a tiger because that's a good story. And everybody would say, "Oh my god, I knew this person that got eaten by a tiger." I mean, it would kind of suck like at the second of getting eaten by a tiger, but I trust the tiger to get that shit done fast. Not like other stuff. Anyway, I want to be eaten by a tiger. I've made that very public. That's not new news. New news. Yep. Yep. Lots of writing to do. I will have pages because even though I'm working on this flash fiction right now, I'm going to put it down and go back to my Huntress and Harvester book tomorrow night because I got to get production out of that. But I'm kind of like in a weird place where I did some stuff last week and I need to revisit my outline and make sure I don't screw anything else up in the next couple of chapters. So my goal this week was to outline 5 chapters and then write 1 chapter. And the week is not finished yet. You have a friend who wants to be trampled by a caribou. I feel like that would be slow and painful. I guess maybe if like they smacked you right in the head and it was like a kind of one and done thing, it wouldn't be that horrible. But I don't know. I don't really want to be trampled. I want to be mauled. I don't know why I think that's better. Just because it's cooler. I don't know. It's not really cooler. I don't want to trample shame anyone. I don't want to fake weird death shame anyone. If that's your jam, then go be trampled. Yeah, I'm like a half outliner. I mean, I outline and then I outline and I outline and I keep doing it. I just like to keep myself sort of like on a trajectory I know is going to get me. I don't know. I need to know what I'm going to do in the chapter, and I don't like just sitting down and going, "Oh, I think I'll do this." I need to have like, all right, the chapter starts here, the chapter ends here. Like connect those 2 dots, go. And all my chapters generally are one scene that ends. It's one scene that you go and go. Sometimes I do 2 scenes per chapter, but not very often. I feel like a famous writer told me that. Maybe it was Jonathan Mayberry, that the chapters are full scene, go. Even if it's quick, just make it one full scene. I do think it makes the book read faster when you do that. Kelly would like to die in her sleep. Yeah, I mean, like, peaceful, didn't even know it happened. Nice. But, I mean, tiger too, because at least you got to, like, get close to a tiger and maybe quick pet it before it ate you. And then I feed something else. I guess no matter what, you feed other things. If you die, you're going to feed bugs and fungus and bacteria and whatever. I actually just finished a werewolf book, and it wasn't the werewolf book I'll be talking about in a few weeks. But it was all about, like, a big deal was like the stuff the werewolves ate. And I'm like, okay. You want to live forever. You need to find a vampire. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that would. Do I want to live forever? Like in my current situation, I don't. But if I was like a vampire and could get rich and be like a rich vampire, And also if it was like when Bella Swan turned into a vampire and she goes from like unshowered Kristen Stewart to showered pretty Kristen Stewart, I'm okay with that. So like if I I ran across a picture of myself from like it's probably like 1995. It was a Facebook memory this week, and I was all young and I had all this like hair. And at the time I remember thinking how my hair was terrible, and now I look at it, I'm like, oh my god, look at all that beautiful flowing hair you had and the gleam in your eye before life dragged it out of you. Just kidding. That's kind of depressing. You want to be a witch vampire with a cottage out in the mountains and no one bothers you. Good call. There's a good movie about that. It's called You Won't Be Alone. It's full core about witches, and they go out into the mountains and stuff. I highly recommend it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. It's like a Bulgarian movie or something. It's subtitled, but it's really good. And they're like an immortal like swamp witch kind of thing. So I feel like that would be good. Like if you could just be kind of as gross as you want to be, that would be boss. What am I getting text back? Oh Lord. Yeah, you're kind of people. I mean like I like urban vampire stuff too. Oh gosh, what is that? Night I don't remember. There was a vampire TV show where the guy was like old, a detective, or maybe the girl was a detective. I don't know. That typical trope. I like that. I like Highlander too. That's a good TV show. They're not vampires, but I mean they're immortals, kind of vampire-y. Eat 12. We'll go another few minutes. Get a little break. I'm not hungry. I made like the cucumber and tomato salad stuff this week. I made it like Monday night. Maybe it was no, it wasn't Sunday night. It was Monday night. It tasted really good for dinner. So I'm not really hungry. Got a little Diet Coke. I'm a little tired. It's been a long 3 days with a lot of stuff happening in that 3 days that not all of it is good and not all of it is bad, but it's a lot, and my brain hurts right now. That's kind of why I think like the flash fiction is tacos from Magotes, and they were darn good. New favorite taco place. Every taco place is a favorite taco place for me. I do love a taco. That's good to hear. The best tacos in Houston that I have had are from a taco trailer across the street from the Alabama Ice House. It's not downtown, but it's like Shepherd, Alabama Street, that general direction. There's an ice house there, and across the street is a taco truck, and they were amazing. And it wasn't just because I had drank a bunch of beer. I really hadn't drank that much beer. Those tacos, I did some things for those tacos. That's a story and a half. I'll not say that on here. If you see me in person, you can ask me about what I did for tacos. Oh, it is National Quesadilla Day. I remember you saying that. Quesadillas are good too. Yes. I am not going to lie. I also like Taco Bell, and they have good quesadillas. And I like Mexican pizza and nachos Belgrande. So now I'm kind of hungry. Now I wasn't hungry. I'll have to eat some. I got some Honey Nut Cheerios here for later. I'll do that. All right, it's 8:15. Let's do until 8:50, and we'll come back for a quick 10-minute shout out. Maybe we'll do 8:50 just in case, because it's almost that time. So be back. Cantina Quesadilla. Oh yeah, money isn't important. Taco Bell tears me up, but it is so good. So we'll be back at 8:55 or 8:50. Alexa, Set an alarm for 8:50 p.m.
Alarm set for 8:50 p.m.
See you then. All right. That is a sprint. Alexa, stop. So we are back. 8:50. I got to about 677 words on this little story. We'll see where it goes. I'm not as confident in it as I was when I started it, but that's what a draft is for. You can't fix what you didn't write. So we'll get it done. Or we'll trash it. It really is of no consequence. It's just something to write. Some idea I have in my head. I'm going to use this title for this story no matter what. It just might not be for this particular thing, but this is what came to mind. The title of the story is Up North on the Tannabogue. It's a creek in Texas. I pass it like every day going to work. So what did everybody else do? 96 pages of 291. And Kelly doesn't want to go to bed until it's finished. That's a great sign. Always a great book when you do that. I'm probably going to eat some Cheerios after this and then go to bed. I've got a big day tomorrow. What about everybody else? 3 viewers. I did see we had 4 viewers, but the 4th was me poking my head onto YouTube to make sure it was actually working right. So apparently I got a viewer of myself. I was viewing myself. And we are up to 4 cat eats. And I will point out that my cats have gone insane. One is all puffed up and he looks like he's going to jump on top of the kitchen cabinets, which never ends well for him. He ends up in trouble. And he has sort of scratched my cabinets with his claws as he jumps his largeness higher. And now I started talking to him, so he's going to give a record. We're already a record 4 cat eats. I mean, I don't doubt that we'll get to 5 cat eats. Yep, we're doing it. I looked at him. We're going to do it. Get out of here. That's 5 cat eats. 5 cat eats. I'm going to have to do a whole bunch more banners for cat eats. Taylor. 40% into you, the story, Writer's Guide to Craft Through Memory by Ruta Septis. Awesome. Yeah. They're allowed to scratch that, what he's doing right now. That's a scratching post. He's allowed to do that. I bought them a horizontal scratcher, and that's a lot better. They don't want to scratch carpet if they've got a scratcher. So that's good news. But they are off their chain right now. Yeah, craft book. I do love a craft book. I need to read. Maybe that could be a November read. Craft books. That's a pretty good idea too for NaNoWriMo. I was thinking about novellas, but maybe a couple craft books are a good idea, since November is all about right. Craft memoir. Yeah, I don't mind that either. I mean, On Writing by Stephen King is like part memoir too, I guess. In fact, I think mostly it's kind of memoir-y, if I remember right. I might reread that now that I'm thinking about that. Craft books for November, nonfiction, might be a good read and a way to kind of like cleanse my brain off of all the monsters. It has you itching to write. Yeah, I mean, no matter what I read, it always has me itching to write. Since I really started this monster project, I've been reading a lot more. Yeah, me too. I do love a craft book too. I want to say I read one by Joyce Carol Oates that was really good. I got to look it up. That's some research I'll need to do here later this week. But cool. It looks like we got a lot read. We are loving the books we're reading. I started my little flash piece. Tomorrow I will hopefully have some time in my lunch hour or something to like do a quick outline of maybe just 3 chapters ahead. Maybe that's better than 5. I don't really know. Regardless, I'll be back on Huntress and Harvester tomorrow night. So we'll be onto that. And I'll put up north on the Tannenbogue way for a little while. I'm going to need it later on. And that brings me to the end of the night, like what's going on. So this is Banned Books Week. I don't know if anybody knows that. I think I talked a little bit about it last week, but Banned Books Week is this week. You can check out like bannedbooks.com, I think it was. And if you search for Banned Book Week, there's a website that that'll bring you to that, and it's got a lot of information about banned books and what's been banned in the US recently, and actually action items that you can do to help the situation, not just lists of banned books. I really like that about the website. So I know that Copperfield Books in Spring is doing some promotion for Banned Books Week. Like if you go and buy a banned book, there's swag they have, like bookmarks and cool stuff, and you're entered to win some prizes for it. So check them out, or check out any of your local bookstores. They're all going to have banned book displays, and I would make a bet that your local library also has a banned book display. Librarians are total badass heroes. So I would bet money that some of the libraries, or most of the libraries, have a banned books display up right now that you can check out. This weekend, so we talked a little bit about Saturday, but Sunday the 29th, there is a book event at Copperfield's Books. I know it sounds like I'm like advertising for Copperfield's, and I am, because I love them. But they have a book event going on for Susan Macaulay. She's launching a book in her young adult magical series. So she's a member of our Houston writers community, and I will probably head over there and check that out and support her. If you have kids that like magicy books, you might want to give those a look. Or if you personally like to read YA, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Go for it. You like a good fantasy magic. She also has some like ghost hunter books, I believe, like for kids. They're not like a nonfiction, but I think they're like ghost adventures. I'm not an expert, so I can't say, but you should go check her out. Support your local authors in your area, and support any local authors in your area, not just indie authors, but you can be fine. Yep, Kelly's planning on it as well. We'll have some announcements about some other events at Copperfield's here coming up very shortly. I won't talk about that now because none of the details are ironed out, but once they are, I'll be free to share. My next event will be next weekend at Copperfield Books, October 5th. They're having their Spooktacular. I wish I had thought to put that on the video or whatever it is I have here. I got to figure out these screens, just me having one video. But I will have all of my books there, so you can get my new release, Root and Bone, which is perfect for Halloween season. In fact, if you start reading now, it's a fast read. It's not like it'll take you all month, but you're going to want to be reading Root and Bone right around Halloween because there's Halloween in the book. So that would be fun if you do that. I will also have this little bundle of joy. This is my Monster Mash book. This is that's the proof copy, but I got the good copies in. So it's just a little chat book. It's no big deal. Little chat book full of some monster short stories for Halloween. Some of them are old that I've repurposed from other collections. Some of them are brand new. You've never seen them before. So they're all about some sort of a monster. My take on it anyway. So I'll have those at Copperfield's. You can get those from me, as well as exclusive bookmarks that will only be at Copperfield's that I drew myself. So that's exciting. The weekend after that, like my October is like totally booked up now. So I got Copperfield's on the 5th. I've got Indie Author Book Fair in Katy at the British School, I think. I don't know what it is. British School, I'll have more information. But anyway, there'll be a ton of local authors at that event. I did that last year in the Heights at an art gallery. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. So you can catch me there. The third weekend in October, I'm doing my first Moonlight Witchy Market in actually in the Heights in Houston. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's at New Magnolia Brewery. And I have never been there before, but it's in an awesome location. So if you are in Houston, it's one of my rare Houston downtown, not downtowny, but in the city shows. I do most of them out and about in spring and around here, but I'll be there. Yeah, and more to come because I don't really have anything planned for the 26th yet. That's Halloween, close to Halloween weekend. But we'll see what shakes out from that. So that's a bunch of stuff going on. Lots of spooky events and markets. Check them out if you're not local to Houston. I'm sure there are some in your area. Always some good stuff at those things. You can usually catch authors there too, so get some books. And I hope you enjoyed spooky reads. Like I said, next week we'll be doing My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I think. I don't know. I forget which order I had them in. But I'll put it up on my Facebook feed. But at any rate, we'll be doing one of the books. And I have read them and rated them. And that's a lot of fun for me. So I've enjoyed the evening. I hope you have also gotten some things done and enjoyed the evening. And again, I will put this up here because I was mostly just proud of myself for making this GIF. My vampire book. See, it's animated. Ooh, four blood droplets for Certain Dark Things by Silvia MOreno-Garcia. Go out and get it. Support your local authors. Thank you so much. Glad to see people out and about on the stream, and I hope you got stuff done, and I hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, have a good rest of your night and a good rest of your week. Bye.